welcome back to the Tarot Cottage. My name is Amy. I'm back today with a pick a card reading for you. Welcome back to my beautiful returning subscribers. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for your beautiful presence. A big congratulations to this week's winner of the free tarot reading. And be sure, if you would like to be entered for your chance to win a free tarot reading, just all you have to do is just enter by placing a comment underneath any of my videos this month. You will automatically be entered as long as you are subscribed and you have hit your notification bell so that I can respond to you if you are chosen the winner. And if you're new to the channel, if you've just stumbled across the channel for the very first time, I do pick a card readings on this channel. I offer a chance for my subscribers to win a free tarot reading from me as a thank you, as a giveaway. So be sure to subscribe and hit your notification bell and drop your comment below for your chance to win as well. We're all friends when we gather at this table. For today's pick a card topic, we're looking at the person on your mind and we're asking about their late night thoughts of you. So are they dreaming of you? What are some of their late night thoughts when they're alone? What do they think when it comes to you in this connection? We have 3 piles to choose from today. Pile number 1 with the cream flower and the bright destiny card. Pile number 2 with the red flower and the daughter of the sacred heart. And pile number 3 with the pink flower and the wild and free card. So whichever pile or piles are calling out, there may be a message waiting today from Spirit. I'm going to jump right into pile number 1. Again, today it's all about the late night thoughts that they have about you. So what are they thinking when they're alone, late at night? Pile 1. Hello, pile number 1. You were drawn to the cream flower or to the bright destiny card, and this is your reading. The person on your mind, what are their late night thoughts about you? You can see this person is sitting almost in meditation. She's got these wings like butterflies on her shoulders. It says it became a butterfly, and it's number 14, which is all about temperance and time and patience and trying to just make use with what time I have in the present until we get reunited, because there's this feeling of eventually I want this to happen. I want to be reunited with you, or I want some sort of physical energy with you, because even the temperance can really speak about sexual energy and wanting connection in that way. And so they're really thinking about that. Perhaps late in the evening is this eventual energy and really hoping for it. You can see they're almost praying. They've got their eyes closed, but they're kind of hoping that something will come about. And it feels like it's going to be delayed, or they anticipate some sort of delay. So let's take a look here and see. We're going to start with tarot today. We're going to do a lot of message cards because we're looking at their thoughts, and we're going to try to keep it as clean as possible so that YouTube doesn't get me in trouble. But we're going to look at some of their late night thoughts about you. Pile number 1. We have the Justice. And I just heard clarity. I was thinking about the cream flower and clarity. And I feel like they've been spending a lot of time thinking about the truth of how they feel and wanting to bring clarity to a situation, because they have this impression that they didn't leave you with a very clear perspective of how they felt or how they currently feel in this moment. There's Libra energy here as well. We have the Ace of Cups. And late at night, their thoughts are circulating, making some sort of offer towards you, coming forward in some way to clarify everything, to bring peace into the situation, because I feel like there's a lack of information between the two of you. There's no lack of information from how they feel or from how you feel, but there's just this distinctive, it's like there's no cohesion. The two of you aren't collaborating with any information in this moment. And they really think late at night about expressing themselves to you so that they can have peace. It's like, I can finally get this off of my chest when it comes to how I feel about pile number 1. We have the Star because you're the Aquarius energy. You could be an Aquarius perhaps here. Again, very strong air element, Justice, Libra, Aquarius for the Star. But you make them feel vulnerable when they think about you at night, because you feel like it's like they're wishing upon you. It's like wishing upon a star. So late at night, they're thinking about that. They're wishing for something, and it makes them feel vulnerable because they feel that now's not the time, or that they can't have you right now. And so there's this feeling of the vulnerability in the in-between, and wasting their time or wasting their energy. And they're growing impatient. There's an impatience energy coming through here too. We have the Knight of Pentacles, yeah. I feel like they're waiting for the perfect opportunity to say something to you, because that's what they're focused on late at night, is like, Now is not the time, but I'm waiting for the perfect time. I'm waiting for the perfect time. I can't say something yet because I can't commit to that yet. And because I'm dealing with collective energy, the reason for that lack of committing energy towards you will be because of different reasons for different people. Because I have lots of energy that's floating into this reading. For some, this person perhaps can't commit to action now because of commitments or obstacles in that way. For others, they just can't get the nerve up to say something. We have the Two of Cups, and there's the Tower, though. And either way, whether it's upheaval in the practical realm, because I'm going to lose something, or whether it's I'm going to lose my ego if you say no, the Spirit says they're just really afraid of change right now. Permanent change. It's like if I say something to you, I'm going to create permanent change in one way or another, and I don't know if I can handle that right now. So they think about the consequences of doing exactly what they want, of speaking their truth. And it feels sort of sad because it makes them think that they're wishing for a better day, wishing for a better version of themselves, wishing for a better experience, and they feel like they're holding themselves back from that because of perceived responsibilities, because of perceived restrictions. I will say that there could be a karmic relationship here at play on their end, so take that as it resonates. But overall, the imbalance is coming out because of this overthinking energy. They're fearful of what they're going to lose. They're afraid they're going to be rejected, or they're afraid that they're going to lose something practical, like lose something huge in other realms if they come towards you now. And they grapple with this. They grapple with the reality of the situation. The reality of their situation and the reality of how they feel about you. Because it makes them feel like it's a difficult moral decision or a moral choice even. And I feel like they think it's not. These thoughts are circulating around how they don't think it's right for them to have these feelings for you. It's like they think that it would be frowned upon by certain people if they knew that they had these late night thoughts about you. Because, there's the Devil, because again, there could be attachments here, but also sexual energy, physical energy between the two of you, and feeling impulsive in that regard, like wishing that they could take a bit of a risk. But they also think about the consequences of that risk. And then reality hits them very harsh. They think about what they would have to walk over in order to be able to get to you. It's like, I might have to hurt people. I might have to hurt myself in some ways. And it would cause grief, at least in some regard, it would cause grief. And so they know that now is not the time, and they grapple with that. But even that thought process late at night of like, I know it's not the time, is still them procrastinating, because this situation is not just going to magically implode and disappear. This situation that is holding them back, their insecurity, the attachments, whatever it is not going to magically resolve itself. They have to be the resolution. But they think about how imbalanced you still make them feel, how the influence that you still have over them, and how they're still holding space for you, and they know they have to do something. They're like, I know I have to do something about how I feel here, or I'm going to drown in this emotion, or drown in my environment. I will say here that for someone watching, this person could work some type of trade where they work overnights, or they work like an overnight shift of some kind, because their late night thoughts occur about you in the work realm. So they're working while these late night thoughts are coming in. It's a distraction from some of that work realm. And to be honest with you, it almost feels like they are focused on the years apart as well, late at night, because the longer it goes, the more it chips away at their confidence, and it chips away at their feeling of purpose, or their feeling of being able to accomplish any different, different solutions to your situation and the separation that seems to be in place. We have the King of Swords, and so there's a very strong air element to the Divine Masculine in this connection. And their late night thoughts, it's like they have conversations with you. They have conversations with you. They could, again, be working while they're late at night while they're thinking about you. But it's like they have back and forth conversations where they're fighting with themselves. They're fighting with their own ego, but they're also kind of having this discourse with you. But we have the Hierophant reversed. And as they have these conversations, they're talking themselves through their version of logic, their version of apathy. It's like, this is why I'm helpless. And they tell themselves, this is why I can't take action now. Because when we're having conversations with ourselves, when we're having these thoughts, we're really having a conversation with our ego, so to speak. And it's the ego telling them to procrastinate. It's the ego telling them to hold on, though, at the same time. And we're supposed to combat that. But they feel like they can't. They feel like now is not the time. It's like, I can't commit to a decision because I can't commit right now. And it makes them feel, I feel like it makes them feel bad because they're worried that they're giving you a really poor impression, or they're giving you the impression that they don't care. But the Hierophant reversed here is somebody who perhaps, there's the Judgment too, they are afraid that they made a wrong decision, and they're afraid to make another one. They think about this a lot. It's like an error in judgment, and I don't want to do that again. So it's like, I made a mistake in the past that put me into this position, and now I know that I'm the only one who can make a decision to get myself out of it, but I'm afraid to make another wrong decision. And it has something to do with their position, has something to do with the Hierophant energy, and the lack of ascension that they saw with you, because they keep thinking, where could we have gone? Where would I be sitting in life right now if I had this person sitting next to me? Where could we have gone? Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Because now the obstacles are huge. Could be a tower energy, could be a home unit or a relationship. And the Hierophant reverse can speak of even divorces, things of that nature. What are their late night thoughts, please? We have Yin reversed. They wonder if you feel the same, and they wonder if this affects you in the same way. They also know that were not generous with you in the past, and they get frustrated with themselves because they gave you the impression that they didn't care or that you weren't important to them. Fresh start, seed, opportunity, or offer, it's coming reversed as well. Because they stress out about communicating with you because they feel like it's too risky. But they really think about what it would be like to have that new opportunity. If we could go back to the drawing board, I would tell you how I feel. Because they feel really isolated and lonely. I go home all to myself. And I don't necessarily feel like they go home alone. I feel like there is a loneliness inherently inside of them. And I feel like they can't share how they feel with other people. So the emotional realm that they hold you within is very isolating. It's like I have perhaps lots of people in my life, but it's the difference between that one person. Back of the deck says you, well, not back of the deck, you gave me mixed signals. And I've been hurt so many times before. The Four of Pentacles reversed. But I have this overflow of fresh start and emotions. And they wonder if taking an opportunity with you would result in this. Result in some new fresh start, new perspective. But they don't know how you feel. It's like in the past they didn't know how you feel. And they still have this confusion weighing upon them in this moment. They are also kicking themselves because they doubted their own intuition when it came to you, and they still keep so much of themselves hidden. That's almost a habit that they've formed over time of keeping their inner world very, very private. We have deception. Someone's wearing a false mask in this relationship. What are their late night's thoughts of you? They think about all of the masks that they maintained and how they were inspired to take them off at many different points. It's like they think about these opportunities where they had to reveal themselves to you and that they didn't take them. Because I'm just focused on this angel adjusting the mask or trying to take it off the back of her head. And we have here, keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type or expectations. And the honeymoon card. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. When I see the honeymoon card, I know that this person's been thinking about whisking you away on a secret vacation or going to a place where nobody knows either one of you. So they've fantasized about that late at night when it comes to you, about what would it be like if we just took a trip, if we went overseas, we just took a trip and nobody knows us. We can just be a couple in that space. There's no obstacles. Because when they think about you late at night, it does have fantasy surrounding it. And this is where they start to reflect upon the choices that they've made and whether or not they made the wrong one when it comes to the soulmate contract, when it comes to a life partner. What are their late night thoughts? thoughts, please. That I like you. I want to flirt. I want to date. Romance is blooming. I like you. It feels so innocent, but it feels like it's from the past. That nothing has really changed since then. We have wedding rings. So again, the Hierophant can really speak about commitments that we've made. And we have heart with a key. Welcoming love, getting together would be perfect. And they have to keep that truth hidden because of their commitments at this time. They have to keep the truth of how they feel about you hidden as well, because they feel like logically it's not time to approach, and they're trying to make healthy choices. They want to feel better though. Like that's why you were perhaps drawn to the Bright Destiny, the 14 of Temperance, because they're trying to make the best of what's going on in their life right now, even though now is not the time, but they still can't shake this attachment with you. Let's get a charm bowl, please, for pile number 1. We have the Knight of Swords coming out. What was their very last thought, the very last late night thought that they had about pile number 1? We have 9 of Swords, the 2 of Wands, and the Ace of Swords. And the 2 of Wands is reversed, and so is the 9 of Swords. You know, the very last late night thought that they had about you, pile 1, had a lot to do with overthinking and stress. It's like wanting to alleviate some of that, and there's an extreme burden when the 9 of Swords is reversed for me, an extreme burden that they've suffered through. And the problem is that this last thought was not this is an old thought. This has been a habit for them to think over and over and over again about needing more information from you, wanting to seek that clarity, but also having to create frustrating delays because of the extreme consequences that they could face. But they may be really overthinking the whole situation, because they're in a habit of doing that. They worry a lot about this connection. But I feel like they worry overall. In the charm bowl today, we have the letter J, the letter C, and we also have a little letter S over here, so these could be initials perhaps. We have the Strength Ruin, somebody who's trying to prove their strength by powerfully overcoming the forces against you, but truthfully, they're not being really passive when it comes to actually executing any sort of change. We have Leo reversed, lack of strength, but also could be Leo energy. 7 of Cups, a lot of confusion and options perhaps. We have the Knight of Pentacles with the turtle, and we have the Star of Aquarius with the seashell here. I think of divine feminine and motherhood energy. I think of responsibilities with the turtle and a lot of slow moving energy. We do have music notes. We could have made beautiful music together. And we have the Stegosaurus. I think of little boys, so somebody who perhaps came of age or who has children now. And I think of extinction. And we also have the kitty cat, again, Leo, claiming our independence. And that may be a necessity in order to create change here. We also have an every fair from fair sometimes declines. And they're really worried about the bloom falling off the rose. They're really worried about your feelings moving into extinction. Pile 1, that's what I have for you today. I hope it resonates with you. If it did, drop that comment below so that I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading with me. You can check out my links for Etsy for a personal reading if you feel called to. But I hope that you come back here and visit me on another day at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a great day. Hello, pile number 2. You were drawn to the red flower, or to the Daughter of the Sacred Heart, and this is your reading. The person on your mind, what are their late night thoughts of you? The Daughter of the Sacred Heart, I think about Catholicism sometimes, so there could be a connection there. But I also think about the Sacred Heart of Jesus. I think about the thorns around the heart, and how there's a lot of pain there. Like there's a lot of pain. We can't see it, but there's a lot of pain. This also looks like Our Lady, so there's an emphasis on even the name Mary, so that could be significant to you in some way, or Marie. But how it's been work to perhaps hide that pain. It's been work to hold on to this connection as well. And they do feel like they have to keep it safe somehow. There's also motherhood surrounding this card, so there could be children involved at this time, or an emphasis on motherhood in some way. So let's take a look and see. What are their late night thoughts, please, of pile number 2? Late night thoughts of pile number 2, please. You have the Moon. These are not just late night thoughts. They're dreaming of you as well. So if they go to sleep thinking about you, then they sometimes are plagued with dreams of you too. And it is their intuition trying to tell them something here. We have the Justice, Scorpio. We also have Libra, Seven of Swords, and the Devil. Now, I'm going to try to keep this as clean as possible so YouTube does not flag me, but there is a lot of fiery energy surrounding this Devil, and it's very secretive. Like they're very secretive about these late night thoughts. They're not declaring them to anyone. They're not talking to other people about you. It's very secretive. And it may perhaps have to be very secretive, and there could be attachments here. And I have been accused in my comment section before of like talking about third party a lot, but it is what it is. There just is what it is. So there's this attachment energy surrounding you, surrounding this person. It's not just attachment to each other. It's attachment to other things, other responsibilities. And they keep thinking about you in terms of you being from their past. So you could be somebody who they worked with in the past, or they went to school with, but there's somebody like from your past. It can be recent, it can be a long time ago, but they just think of you in a very nostalgic way. They could be a Leo, Aries, Sagittarius here. There is an aspect of these late night thoughts being very fiery, and they are protecting the nature of this fantasy. Like they like it, like they enjoy the nature of this fantasy, and they are protecting the connection in that way. We have the Judgment. There's a lot of major themes here. We have the Fool. We have the Queen of Swords. Now, these late night thoughts are very sort of risque, so to speak, when it comes to the fiery nature of them, but then it turns into risky because the Judgment is here. And even though that's very fiery, the purpose of the prompt to all of these thoughts is their intuition trying to tell them something. It's their intuition trying to spark some sort of change or some type of application of strength towards you, because all of a sudden it shifts from the fiery energy into one of vulnerability, into one of wanting to literally rise from the dead, or come back from the dead, come back from the past and revisit again. And I just heard that song from Selena Gomez that says, "We don't talk anymore." And there's that part in that song where she says, "Sometimes I wonder if you just want me to show up at your door, but I'm worried that I'll be wrong." And they think about that. It's like, I wonder what you would do if I just popped up. If I took the risk and just popped up, how would you receive me? Would you be cold? Would you tell me that you no longer have feelings? Would you cut me out? Have you moved on? And these are the thoughts that they're thinking about. Because they start out really fiery. They start out really testing their own loyalties of their own situations, so being a little bit risky, and then it moves out of fire and into vulnerability, because the fire is enough of a prompt, it's enough of an inspiration to make them want to execute change sometimes, but it's a risk. And they are talking about you being kind of a constant companion, even from the past. So they're going back to youth again, saying that we were companions, we were friends, and they do miss that too, and they think about that aspect of your relationship as well, is the fact that you used to be friends. And they didn't take a risk then either, and they were waiting to hear from you, or they were waiting for a sign from you. They also, when they let themselves go down the emotional rabbit hole during these late night thoughts, they start to think about where they went wrong. We have the Six of Pentacles. And part of that is them knowing that they weren't open and generous enough with you in the past about how they felt, or open and generous enough during opportunities with you to communicate. But they felt like they didn't feel good enough back then, or they were really, and I feel like you didn't feel good enough either, but they put you on just a little bit of a higher pedestal than they felt about themselves, and they just couldn't find the courage to say something. It's like they're the ones that they're blaming themselves for putting the two of you into this karmic wheel, but I don't think it's all their fault. They do think about what it would be like to have a conversation with you now, and they still put you up on that pedestal. They're kind of intimidated by you. You could be an air sign. You could be, because I just heard Judge and Executioner, you could be a Libra for the Divine Feminine. We have the Hanged Man. They do definitely think about the bed that they've made and how they feel like they have to submit to it. Like, I have to surrender to the bed that I've made and sort of put up with all of these thoughts, because I think it's very consistent. You can see the crown chakra is just all lit up. And they are tangled up in this vine by their feet, holding them upside down. There's no struggle, but they're tangled up in this vine, and they know that maybe further conversations would have helped the situation. And they wish that they could get more of your insight. They think about your perspective a lot. It's like, if I had knowledge of how you feel, would it change things for me? Would it ignite anything inside of me? So we have the death energy. There's so many major arcanic themes here. Because they do secretly think about taking a risk that changes a lot, that closes out chapters, that opens up new ones. And they also think about how foolish they were to give you the impression that they were uninterested, or they worry a lot about being overlooked or having overlooked you. It's like they feel like they gave you the impression that they were overlooking you. Even in the present, they're like, they probably think that I've forgotten about them, but it's quite the opposite. It's quite the opposite. If they knew how I felt, and that's what they think about too, if only you knew how I felt, if I could give you the information, would it make a big difference to this connection? It's like, I want new beginnings with the Judgment. I want a brand new day to be available to me. I want a second chance. But I have all of this fear. And not just fear, I have practical attachments here, because there's the Nine of Pentacles. And I feel like, I just heard, you're so beautiful. What do you need me for? I have a card that says that as well in one of my card decks. But you were very, very attracted to them in the past. And they're attracted to that version too. They're attracted to the new version of you. They're attracted to the old version of you. But the Nine of Pentacles also talks about loyalty to a position that I've spent time investing in. It's like, if I've invested years and years into schooling, or years and years into a job, or years and years into a relationship, or years and years into my position in a relationship, there's a lot of respect that comes with that. And so there's this rock and a hard place. Like, I wish that I had the courage to have a relationship with you and have, in the very least, closure, because they think that there's such an unfinished cycle between the two of you. And they're often kind of grappling with that. We have love, unconditional love, affection, attraction, passion, and addiction to you, codependent, obsession, possession, controlling, and has a block. So there are blockages here that they focus upon, but they also focus upon the passion. And it does switch, their thoughts of you does sort of take this detour from physical energy, the addiction, the want, to the loving energy and to the desire of the emotional realm. We have coffee cup. They wish that they could see you again. They wish that they could even have a moment of your time. It's like they fantasize in these late night thoughts about having a conversation with you. It says savoring the friendship, lifting and feeling uplifted by friendship. They are emphasizing this childlike energy surrounding you, or the innocence surrounding your connection here. We have here getting together with friends, moving on, wishing that they were single, having fun, perfect, with the girl talk on the back of the deck. What are their late night thoughts, please, with pile number 2? Honeymoon, that came out in pile 1 as a backup deck, actually. And this is a secretive energy. First of all, it does connect to relationships and status, of course. But I think about suppression. I think about somebody who wants to take you somewhere secretly. And they want to enjoy that time with you together. But they're not available, or you're not available. It says free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life so that they can say what they want to say, and so that they can express what they want to and go with you where they want to go. But they're worried about something practical. They're worried about losing a lot. If I follow you, I could lose everything. And finances are a factor in their life right now. But we have make an effort. Great love is worth the steps you're guided to take. And that's what they struggle with, is the fact that they know that there's something special about this connection. They're very nostalgic when it comes to you, and they're loyal to that nostalgia as well. And they want to reach out to you. They really wish that there could be a brand new day. They want to reach out to you, and they know that this connection is worth it, but it's really testing that fear factor within them. But there is this aspect of them understanding that there is something so available and profound about this connection if they could just access it. There's so many themes here, which means you've had such an influence on them. What are their late night thoughts, please, of pile number 2? I have a gift for you. And when I think of the Six of Cups, I do think of generosity, of being generous with one another, because that's the dynamics of the soulmate contract, is we're generous with each other during those types of conflicts. It feels like there's something missing without you around. I was in denial in the past. They have bouts of denial even in the present to try to alleviate some of their frustrations at times. But I know that there's something special here, and I know that we're being spiritually guided. Like there is something very, very special about you. You are the unicorn, but they don't even feel like they can say that. I have been hurt by love before. And in the past, they felt overlooked by you, or they felt, I don't want to say like a beggar in the connection, but they felt like they were following you around, and that really kind of hurt their feelings or tested their faith in themselves. But this has moved into obsession. Just know that I am obsessed with you. And we did have the devil energy that came out in your spread as well, about the physical nature of some of their fantasies, some of their thoughts of you as well. Oops. What are some of their late night thoughts, please, of pile number 2? We have here receptive, reversed. Be ready to receive what fate has in plan for you. And some of their late night thoughts definitely reflect upon how receptive you would be. The Queen of Swords is intimidating. She might cut your head off if she doesn't like what you have to say. So they wonder how receptive you would be if they called you. And they don't feel like, well, I don't feel like there's any contact here at all. But they do feel like they have conversations with you in their mind. And that there's a connection here that is being divinely guided. Close soul connections are harmoniously synchronized, creating moments of telepathy and such intensity. They do feel like they are obsessed with you. The intensity of a true soul connection includes great highs and great lows, and this person experiences both of those things during these late night thoughts. Let's get a charm bowl, please, for pile number 2. What was the very last late night thought that they had about pile number 2? Oh, friendship reunions. They miss their friend. Even though there's a lot of physical energy and a lot of attraction from this person, they miss their friend. And I feel like they're very different from you, or they felt like they were very different from you. And they sort of felt like they got friend zoned. It's like they didn't feel like they could express themselves, or they were scared to express themselves. They couldn't find the courage. And so everything's kind of stayed in limbo, and they felt like they were friend zoned. So they were thinking about that. They were thinking about how frustrated they are that they got into that cycle. And how they do wish that they could have reunions, because maybe they could make a difference this time around. Maybe they could change things. We have the letter P, O, and S. We have forever. Oh, sometimes they don't think very nicely of themselves. I just went POS. We have here wishes do come true. We have the shamanic feather. We have the divine feminine starfish with the frog. I think about evolution with the frog. I also think about clearing out clutter and trusting in our intuition. We have the skull and crossbones, somebody who can't commit, or somebody who's afraid that they're going to make off with something that doesn't belong to them, because of a karmic relationship, perhaps. It is forever reversed because they don't want to believe that this is a forever situation. And there is this aspect of perhaps the karmic relationship not being a forever situation. We also have here the starfish, which is their wonderings of whether or not you have healed and moved on from this connection. All right, pile 2, that's what I have for you today. I hope that it resonates with you. If it did, drop your comment below for a chance to win a free reading. Be sure to hit your notification bell. Check out my links for Etsy for personal reading if you feel called to, or for Instagram. I just post little videos over there. I just post little card explanations, and I often sometimes will offer a mini read opportunity to win a mini read over there. So be sure to check me out. But I hope that you come back and visit me on another day at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a great day. Hello, pile number 3. We're drawn to the pink flower, or to the wild and free card, and this is your reading. What is your person's late night thoughts about you? Now, the wild and free card says all good things are wild and free. So these late night thoughts could really be wild and free, perhaps. Maybe they're just unabashedly honest, and they're really filled with want and filled with desire when it comes to you. You can see she's a beautiful redhead as well, and she's wearing this beautiful crown of feathers. So there's something healing about the fire in you. It's like they want to access some of that healing that they feel like only you can provide during some of these late night thoughts. So let's take a look here and see what are their late night thoughts of pile number 3, please. I just keep focusing on all good things. So maybe these thoughts are all good thoughts, but they're fiery. And I'm going to try to keep it innocent as possible so that YouTube doesn't get upset with me. But here is the death energy. You know, and there's this keyhole energy with this death card, and it's a very optimistic sort of energy because it's, look how heavily pregnant she is. She's waiting for something. She's waiting for this rebirth. And what's interesting about this card is I love it because, you know, her life, she's turning into a mom. Her life is going to change forever. She cannot go back to the past. She's sacrificing that past for this new life, but it's so, you know, it's so important and it's so exciting. And so there's something very optimistic about this death energy, about rebirth. And about how, you know, they have these late night thoughts about what it would be like. It's like it would change everything. If I could just get one moment of your time, it's like they think about a very physical energy with you that would be the launching pad for more with you. Be the launching pad for more. It would change everything. We have the Chariot. These thoughts are surrounding a lot of action in a lot of different forms. They think about taking you places. They think about doing things with you. They think about unfinished business, especially things that you guys have not done together in the fire realm, in the physical realm. They think about that unfinished business. And their thoughts also go around the temptation or teasing energy. It's like, have you been making them wait for things, or you have made them wait for things in the physical realm? Because they think about the control that you have over them. We have the Queen of Cups. It's like the effect that you have over them, and how you don't even realize it, perhaps, that you don't even realize the effect that you have on them. But they keep calling you, and I keep hearing that song, Sexual Healing. That's what I keep hearing. And they're calling you the healer. The Divine Feminine is the healer. You could be a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Very strong emphasis on Cancer. And we have the Three of Cups. Ooh. This could be a friend, or a friend with benefits, or someone that you're just casually dating. It could be somebody that you are in separation with, because there is an emphasis on reunions with the Three of Cups, but there's an emphasis on having fun. And there's an emphasis on going out, groups of people, sometimes, I will say. So their late night thoughts for you could include other people and some of those thoughts as well, in a very kind of playful way. We have the Knight of Swords and the King of Swords. And, you know, they allow these thoughts to be wild and free because they don't feel like they can express it in the 3D. They definitely don't think that they can. He's shoving his truth down his throat so that he can't say anything about it, because they don't feel like it's logical to say the things that they've been dreaming or fantasizing about in their late night thoughts, because there's a reality about themselves, about their situation, that doesn't allow them to execute all of these fantasies. And that could be why the scythe is in her hand and she's dressed like a bride, because this person could be in a commitment, or maybe you are, and they're just waiting for like cycles to close out so that they can perhaps execute new opportunities. But this Ace of Swords, particularly in the Sante Morte Book of the Dead Tarot, is all about reality and grief, because the swords plunge straight through the skull. And there are these brambles of information, this information that could hurt us, that could harm us, that could impede new beginnings. And so there is a reality check that they ignore, which is why they allow these late night thoughts to be filled with freedom. It's like, because I don't have that freedom in the 3D, and I feel like maybe my environment controls me, I allow my fantasies about you late at night to be completely unabashedly free. It's like, I'm not going to even apologize for them. I'm free to say what I want. And experience what I want and think about what I want. Because in these late night thoughts, they take action regardless of conditions, regardless of responsibilities. And with this death energy, it's like these thoughts circulate around too about the necessity for them to remain in fantasy, because this death energy talks about these responsibilities having to take a back seat. If I want to if I want to have motion or movement with you. We have the Five of Swords. Now, these late night thoughts do inspire them to act. They do, because even the Knight of Swords, he wants to be moving. They do inspire them to act, but they know that they can't at this time. They know that they can't at this time because it will create permanent change. And they're too scared about that permanent change. It's like they know that it's just going to create too much conflict. It's going to create a lot of arguments in their situation or with their responsibilities. But it's like all the logic takes a back seat to the fantasy in the moment. All of the logic takes a back seat. Because they don't want to, in these late night thoughts of you, they want them to be wild and free. They don't want it to be filled with any type of moral compass. They don't want it to be filled with moral choices and decisions between people and thoughts about where they went wrong. They want it to be filled with levity, and they want it to be filled with movement, because they didn't experience that with you, or they aren't experiencing it with you in this moment. Because they fantasize about being in a relationship with you in a permanent sense and having that success. Having that success. In their fantasies, they do allow the physical energy between the two of you, their late night thoughts. They want this to be the start. This wild and free card is the number one. They want this fantasy of the physical realm to just be the beginnings with you, because they do really like you, or they do really have a lot of emotion towards you. So they're hoping that this will just be the gateway. The friend zone or the friends with benefits would just be the gateway towards further clarity and further action. Here's the Eight of Wands, and there's the Eight of Pentacles. There's the Fool. The Eight of Wands is very fiery as well. A lot of strong fire energy here. We also have Gemini very strong here as well. But so much fire because there's this pressure building late at night when they think about you. And the reason why all of these thoughts of you are really revving up is because it's supposed to inspire some type of action, or in the very least some sort of revelation of like, oh, why am I thinking so fiery about this person, and what does that mean, and what should I do about it? But they feel, because it inspires them to talk to you or take a risk with you, to communicate with you in some way, to offer you something, but they feel like it's risky. And they could feel like it's risky because you're friends and they don't know if you're interested in that, or maybe there's attachments, they don't know if you're available, or they may not be available, but they say that it's risky, but they want to go exploring, and that's what they think about late at night, is what would it be like to explore with you? What would it be like to explore that pathway of fire with you? Because it is very, very fiery. It could be that they're waiting for a sign from you. That you're available, that you want the same things. We have here retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. I just saw love yourself first as well, that your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. And I don't want to say this person has no self-respect. I feel like they do, but I feel like they have a lack of confidence for sure. We have here, this could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. And give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. Especially if there's no other attachments here. This person wants to move out of the friend zone. Whether it's flirtation friend zone, whether it's just friend zone right now, they want to move out of that and they want a chance. They're hoping that their fantasies surround the fire realm being the launching pad for clarification, for further actions, or for even a relationship forming. But they don't know how available you are. They don't know how open you are to change in this moment. We do have past life connection, so someone from your past or a past life in a previous lifetime, you have known each other before. What are their late night thoughts, please? Pile number 3. You have your hand of cards. They're being very strategic, not showing their hands, gambling, thinking about their options. I just saw the axe as well, and I think about the tree of life with the axe, so take that as it resonates. We have hammer, sabotage, repetitive persistence, working on it. And when I seen sabotage, I instantly thought about this Knight of Swords shoving this sort of truth down his throat, because it's really easy to surrender to fantasy and not take action upon it, and that's them sabotaging their own desires or their own efforts. Because they like to distract themselves in these late night thoughts with the fire so that they don't have to really think about what's influencing the fire, what's telling them to act and why. Because then it applies more pressure, because the truth is that they like you. They have fun flirting with you. They want to date. They'd like to be in a relationship. But they're worried about it. It says, be lighthearted, finding out, things coming to light. They're hoping that things will adapt, change, or heal. And they do think about that during these late night thoughts as well, is that I wish that things could transition into more. But they're nervous about it because it could create permanent change. And if they say something in the 3D, they may not be able to take that back. What are their late night thoughts, please, of pile number 3? What are they thinking late at night about pile number 3? That I am obsessed with you. I'm also very nervous about taking action. We have the, oh, we didn't have the devil here, but Capricorn is really represented by the devil. It can really speak about the obsession over you, but attachments as well, overall. If I asked you to stay, would you leave? So they grapple with this choice they have to make about expressing themselves. They wonder if it's going to blow up in their face if they do. Like, would you reject me if I came forward? Because they're intimidated by you. My life started when I met you. And I don't want to lose you. They don't want to lose you to competition. They don't want to lose you overall as in a friendship capacity. It's like they don't want to lose you in the capacity of which they have you. Be more selfish. And for someone watching, now because I'm dealing with collective energy, I do have multiple energies that float in and out. And so not everyone's story is going to sound exactly the same. So it's very important to take the messages as they resonate here with you today, because they feel like it's selfish for them to take the risk. It could be because of their own attachments, or because of attachments they feel like you have. But I don't feel like every person watching that there's attachments for this person. So on one hand, it could just be a friendship and they're really afraid of being rejected by you. On the other hand, they could have obstacles in the way here. But we have "You are my everything" on the back of the deck. It says, what do you want? But they're confused about what you want. So it's like, I know how I feel about this person. Look at how the masculine is looking at the feminine. She's looking away, but he's very focused on her. So it's like this person knows what they want, but they don't know what you want in this connection. What are their late night thoughts of pile number 3, please? We have here bond, a love bond that grows stronger over time. And love conquers all. And we have union. The union of divine soul counterparts is a miraculous event that begins when you least expect it. And I feel like this person is, the dragonfly keeps being shown to me. It's like this person is trying to tell you how they feel without telling you how they feel. And in these fantasies, they think about that. They're like, I've tried to leave signs and symbols. I've tried to flirt. My feelings for this person have only sort of built up or become deeper and deeper with investment. And so there's this feeling of like, I need to change my approach, I need to change my direction, and I need to be really hungry for success, because they're really anxious to become in a relationship or enter into a relationship with you, a full-fledged relationship. But they do want to, their fantasies definitely start with fire. Start in the fire realm and start with that exploration. What is their last late night thought, their latest late night thought about pile number 3, please? So we have here 2 of Swords, the Knight of Cups, and the Ace of Cups. It's like they're at this crossroads with you. It's like they're thinking about that, this inability to express themselves because they're so afraid of something. They're afraid of being hurt. They're afraid of losing something. And they are afraid of paling in your eyes. It's like they're really afraid of being vulnerable with you because they want you to always like them and they want you to always have a really high opinion of them. So it's stressing them out. It's giving them a lot of stress to think about the possibility of being disappointed, which is why that keeps them passive, keeps them in the fantasy realm, and keeps all of those thoughts stuck in the late night realm and not being applied in the 3D. We have the honey cells, 6 of them. I do think of karmic relationships and sweet results. We have the King of Pentacles, so somebody who has a really strong position or who's invested in a position. We have 2 keys, so 2 people who are holding back secrets. We have do as you would be done by, almost too simple, but it's all you need to get by. We have a glass measuring cup here. I think about the glass half empty. So sometimes they get into a pessimistic energy about the conflict that they expect to receive in the future. And so they keep themselves, we have Virgo, they keep themselves in the hermit energy, and they know that success will only be assured if they really, really focus and dig deep and take baby steps towards their goals. We also have the High Priestess represented by the curled shell of secrets that they keep. And we have the fishbone. So Pisces, it's reversed. I think of the 10 of Swords, but it's the white fishbone. So there's, they think about changing their approach. It's like what I've been doing so far has not been working in these fantasies. To get what I want, I'm going to have to change my approach. But they're going to have to take their mask off. All right, pile 3, that's what I have for you today. I hope it resonates with you. If it did, drop your comment below for a chance to win your free reading. Be sure to hit your notification bell if you do. You can also check out my link below for Etsy for a personal reading if you feel called to. But please come back and visit me on another day at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a beautiful day.